Danny, when you guys are clicking, I'm on offense, but then still having struggles on defense. I'm wondering how you split up at the practice time, versus trying to sharpen up, each end of the court.
Well, you go into practices and you devise what you want to accomplish that particular day. A lot of it depends on the schedule that you've played. And so, for us, we'll come in and we'll break down um, intro, our opponent, watch some film on them, go out on the court and get into our normal practice sessions. And then throughout the course of our practice sessions, we'll have defensive breakdowns, working on what they do, whether it's in 4-on-4 setting, a 5-on-5 setting, a ball screen setting, zone, based on out of bounds, and just kind of incorporate it that way. So, we know going into this game that, Georgia Tech is a team that's very dangerous. They got off to a really good start in conference play for big-time win, and we know that they're very aggressive in terms of offensively sharing the basketball, and they're not afraid to shoot it from distance. So I think they've got over, 300 three-point attempts in 12 games. So we know we're going to have to get out and extend our defensive pressure to the three-point line. And they have to feel us when they shoot the basketball. It's not enough to be in front. We have to have a high hand and contest with our hand and our voice.
Yeah, obviously the offense is operating pretty efficiently. How do you fix the defense? What do you do to get better defensive rebounds like every now and then?
Well, defensively, that's having a better awareness in terms of knowing personnel, who we're closing out to. Then also doing a better job of taking care of the ball. Offensively, we're scoring at a high clip in terms of the last couple games, but if we do a better job of taking care of the basketball, not have as many live ball turnovers where teams can get out in transition, that would help us also. But, knowing personnel and following our scouting report, when we go over what we can live with and what we can't live with, we got to make sure that it falls in the category of what we want to give up and not what they want to do.
Danny, to kind of play off that, when you look at defense, are you looking at it as this is kind of a team breakdown, or are you having individuals break down more so?
Both. We cover it all. So, we'll do individual breakdown, whether that's post-perimeter, one-on-one. Then we'll go over team concepts and team positioning when the ball's in certain areas of the court.
Dan, you were talking about Georgia Tech and being aggressive and shooting the threes. When you look at them, they've got a 13, 12, 11, 10, and I think a 9-point score all in there. What does that say about a team, and I guess how much does that put pressure on defense when they can have so many guys that can score it?
Yeah, you're right. They're very balanced. And we know going into it, you have to know personnel is probably the biggest thing. We talk about that every day because in the course of a ball game, certain possessions, we're running a play, and whether they're switching, shot goes up, it's a scramble for a loose ball, and you're running back in transition. At that point in time, you don't have a man. We have to stop the ball, and then you have to sort out, meaning you have to find somebody in your area to guard. And a lot of times that's not your assigned matchup. So making sure that we, have a better understanding of knowing personnel, who we're guarding. And, it could be something as simple as we're playing Syracuse the other night, and there's a scramble situation, and somebody who's, let's say one of our big guys gets stuck on Bell, right? And they don't realize it's Bell. Maybe they're guarding somebody who's not as good of a shooter, so they're often help a little bit more, whereas you have to be a little bit closer to Bell because he doesn't need as much time to get the shot off. So, making sure our awareness is a little bit better, understanding personnel in those situations will help us out also.
Yeah, going back to the game at Syracuse, did your all's opinion change at all on that last goaltending call after going back and looking at the film of it?
Are you trying to get me fined? You know what? We thought it was a good block by KG, but even before that, Coach Payne spent a good amount of time talking about in those situations getting back after the bucket is made. The shot went in, and we had some guys in the motion of starting to get back, but we didn't get back quick enough. And KG makes a great hustle play. Brandon runs down there, too, and makes a block. But, even at the end, they had one of their guys catch it and put it back in. And so in those situations, that's another one of those, awareness and knowing personnel. Copeland had the basketball, and we did a good job pursuing them. We blocked the shot, we just didn't finish the play at the end.
Georgia Tech, a tough team to figure out. They've only won 3 games, but I think 2 of the wins have come against North Carolina and Duke. So
And the other one's Clemson. So, they're a very dangerous team. That's, you go back and you look at the history of the ACC, you always have teams that are like that every year. And this is the team, Damon's done a really good job of implementing his system, and he's trying to, he's going through first-year coach blues, if you will, in terms of implementing system, learning league, learning personnel, and things of that nature. But, the offensive sets and schemes that they run are really good. The defensive schemes remind me a lot of the NBA type of mindset where, there are going to be certain guys that they're going to leave open and dare you to make a shot or make a play. And, we have to put our guys in the right situations like KP's been doing a great job of offensively for us, and then we have to make good decisions. Once we get the ball at that free throw line area, we have to be able to make a good decision, whether that's a shot, whether that's a pass. But we have to be decisive and really sharp in those moments.
Danny, what is it the last couple games in transition that you guys haven't been doing that other teams have taken advantage of, the other night especially?
Well, one of the things is floor spacing. When we have really good floor spacing, our defensive balance is really good in getting back. And, also knowing that, if we want 3 guys per se to go to the glass, our small forward, our power forward, and our center, we want our point guard and shooting guard to get back. Sometimes they're long rebounds, and then you got to scramble back on that backside. And so we just have to do a better job of sorting in transition, stopping the ball first, and then sorting and finding a man.
Danny, coming off an emotional loss like that, what was the state of the locker room just following the game, and how has that changed, if it has, since the game as you go into this one on the weekend?
A lot of different emotions. There's some of us that are disappointed, some of us are pissed, some of us, just a lot of different emotions. Every individual carries it a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, for us, we had opportunities that we didn't quite capitalize on well enough to win the ball game. And we can't have lapses where we have possessions offensively or defensively, especially down the stretch, that have such an impact on the ball game. So, a lot of areas for us, we're looking in the mirror and we're trying to find different ways we can continue to improve defensively.
Danny, since conference play has started, Brandon Huntley Hatfield's kind of gone to the next level. I mean, he's amongst the conference leaders in scoring, rebounding, field goal percentage. How has his continued emergence possibly been contagious to the other guys on the team to possibly up their game as well?
Well, Brandon is playing at a very high clip right now. We feel like there's still a ways for him to go, but he's certainly improved. And yeah, there are times when we feel we can feed off of his energy. But, a lot of it comes down to this, too. Like, Brandon's an upperclassman in college basketball. He's got a year under his belt in the ACC. He's seen a lot of different things that a lot of different guys on our team haven't seen. And he's doing that sometimes playing up against a double team. And so, his improvement has been something that we're all proud of and happy for, but we're going to continue to push him like KP does every day to continue to take steps to get better. But he is certainly someone we feel comfortable throwing the ball to and feeling like we can get something out of it, whether it's single coverage in the post, we feel like he can get to the shot or the spot that he wants to. And if they double team him, our spacing has to be good, and he's been doing a good job of getting the ball out of double teams, and then we're playing on the weak side, 2 against 1 or 3 against 2, depending on where they trap from.
Just to follow up on Brandon, you made 3 threes in the game against Syracuse. And it's been taking more lately. I'm just wondering if that's something that's just like a byproduct of how the game is flowing, or that you are trying to get him out of space more around the perimeter and trying to get him.
It's a byproduct of the game. We'd much rather him catch the ball closer to the basket because of the attention that he draws and his effectiveness there. But he's also shown that he's capable of stepping out on the perimeter and making shots. And so that just, puts the defense in a situation of what are you willing to live with? And Syracuse, closed out short to him and said, you got to make a couple, and he did that. And so now teams have to look at different ways they have to guard him when he steps out on the perimeter because he is a capable shooter.